How to sell tickets and navigate the sales mode in SaffireTix. The SaffireTix app runs on current iOS devices, including iPhones, iPads, and iPods. Look for the blue icon with the white flame. Press that, and it takes you to the login screen, which operates in two different modes. If you see a screen like this, which is looking for a web address, email address, and password, touch Sign In, then OK. Look for Change Login Mode and select PIN Mode. Now it will only expect a web address and your PIN. The URL is probably already filled in on your device, but if not, check with your gate coordinator for the correct address. Then add your personal identification number and sign in. Your PIN might be assigned to a specific location, so when logging in, the location was already selected and you're seeing the sales screen. If so, that's great. If not, you'll see this screen, which requires you to select the location where you'll be working. Let's choose Gate B, and with that, we're now on the Gate B sales screen. If your event is taking credit or debit cards, you should have plugged into the headphone jack a card reader which looks like this. Or this. Card readers are constantly evolving, so it might look entirely different or connect in a different way. Check with your gate coordinator if you have questions. At this point, you're ready to sell tickets. This screen shows you all the products for sale at your location. Use the plus buttons to add quantities of each ticket you're selling. Use minus to decrease the quantity when needed. For credit card or debit card payments, select credit card, then slide the card through the reader. The app will show a green success screen when it's approved. For cash payments, select either cash change or cash exact. The exact option denotes you received the exact amount needed. The change option will calculate the necessary change based on the cash provided by the ticket buyer. Say you're selling two $7 tickets and you're handed a $20 bill. Enter that and it shows you to return $6 in cash. Then click OK to record the payment. Use whichever cash option is convenient. Oh, and one more thing. If you need to make a sale and you've ended up on some other screen, press the $ icon at the bottom and you'll be back in action. If there's a question about a recent sale, you can check the sales history using the back arrow at the bottom of the screen. This shows what was purchased, the transaction total, and the date and time of the sale. It's useful information if you were interrupted during the sale and weren't sure if you had entered a cash transaction. Just check here. Or if you'd entered a cash sale by mistake when the buyer wanted to use their credit card, you can select a sale and undo it. Then press cancel or the $ to return to the sales screen and start over. If you have questions about a recent sale, check with your gate coordinator. There's one more icon at the bottom you might need to use. It's the wheel or gear in the bottom right-hand corner. This takes you to the app settings. At the top, it shows your login name and a switch to turn on the camera flash, which only pertains when using the device as a scanner. If you're handling both sales and scanning, you won't need the flash unless you're in extreme darkness. The next box allows you to change your current location, which may be necessary if your gate coordinator asks you to change where you're working. Just press the location, and you'll see it change at the top of the screen. Below that is a box which can change the operation mode of the app. Press that and you'll see several options. If someone has turned on scan mode, the app will display a camera at the bottom, and you could end up on this screen, which is intended only for scanning, and it doesn't allow you to sell tickets. Just go back into settings and switch the mode to sales mode. Unless you're doing both sales and scanning. Then you want to be in scan sales mode so that both icons show at the bottom, and you can switch back and forth as needed. You'll also find the order lookup option, which can locate tickets previously purchased online. This is typically used only when in scan mode. And then you might see an option for connecting to printer. If it's not there, don't worry, and if it is there, that's covered in another video. Finally, you'll find the Log Out button. Typically, each person selling tickets has a unique personal identification number, so you'll need to log out when your shift is over so the next person can log in with their PIN. A few tips for you. The device should be limited to either Wi-Fi or cellular data, as determined by your gate coordinator. Leaving both networks on can slow down the processing and in turn slow down entry at the gate. To check that setup, swipe up from the bottom of the screen. This device is set for Wi-Fi, and the cellular connection is off. While we're here, a couple things to help conserve the battery. Keep the screen brightness as low as possible, and keep the sound as low as possible. You actually don't even need the sound when in sales mode. Another way to save the battery is by switching the device off when there's a substantial lull in activity. To turn it back on, just click the home button a couple of times. Finally, this device may look like a phone, but while running SaffireTix, treat it as if it were strictly a sales or scanning device. Any other use will shorten the battery life. And that wraps up how to sell tickets and navigate the sales mode in SaffireTix.